hill, over the seer's head, drowning him in the bowl in its bluish light. The seer gasps, for he knows the meaning of this. The person whose star falls out of the sky and rises back up will be among the rarest of mankind. An Abamieda, one who will die and return to life.
Baba, are you seeing this?
The seer says, pointing to the sky as if his master, dead, now 2 years, can see it. For so long, he's been wanting to experience this galactic miracle his master had often spoken about, to bear witness to the vision of a life that will defy death. After 25 years of practicing astral divinations, he has beheld it. The seer throws the amulet into the bowl. The water bubbles, calms, the ripples spreading in a widening gyre. The seer begins to hear voices, first distant and indistinct, as if worlds unknown and familiar are bleeding into one another, from different times and planes of existence. Colors flash in his eyes as voices erupt, fade out, and rise again out of the chaos. All the while, he mutters incantations. Around him, the night thickens. Drawn by the strange light of the bowl, insects mob him, and bats flit about the surrounding trees. The first images of the vision are grainy, like something seen through wet glass. But slowly it clears, and there appears the figure of a man in a room with a yellow bulb hanging from the ceiling by 2 colored wires. He is young, dark-complected, with a boyish face. The man is looking out the window of the room. As if he has slid from the old universe into the vision's new, future one, the seer finds that he can see the same things as the unborn man in the vision. He gazes through the unborn man's eyes for a moment, transfixed, awash in the light of this yet uncreated world. Chapter 1. For the first time in nearly an hour, Kunle rises from the cane chair and looks at his wristwatch, then at the small bush outside. The rain, which had started shortly before he sat to write, has stopped now. On the soft earth closer to the window, a small bird totters, a writhing red worm clasped in its beak. He feels again the presence, the unusual sense of something, a thing alive yet invisible, watching him. He glances up, then around, but there is no one. He begins to go through the story he has just written. At once he is surprised by how many of the details about the accident have remained in his mind, even after all these years. It was only this morning that he'd walked into the auditorium near the law building and heard a lecturer speak about writing to free oneself. He'd rushed home, picked up a pen and the notebook. And now pieces of his childhood, blown in from remote corners of the past, are gathered in these few sheets of foolscap paper. As he rereads, the details rise before his eyes in vivid colors. Nkechi, standing beside him, 9 years old, just like him. She wears on her face the beauty of youth. Her hair is permed and ribboned, and her skin shiny with cream.
Darling, let us send Tunde outside, though,
she says, leaning into his left ear.
Let him not disturb us.
Oh, okay, he says. Nkechi whispers something else to him, and abruptly he turns towards the door as Tunde, only 6, comes in swinging. Tunde tells them he wants stew and rice and goat meat. Kunle listens to his brother's chatter with half his mind as Nkechi steps closer, cups her hand around his ear, and says,
Darling, send him away, oh. Mu, send him away so that he will not disturb us again.
Kunle leads his brother out of the kitchen to the yard, partly grassy, partly dirt. He picks up a small green football from the dirt and kicks it over the fence.
It is a goal! It is a goal!
Tunde yells and runs out of the compound after the ball. Kunle hurries back into the house and locks the door. He is clasping his hands around Nkechi in embrace when they hear Tunde scream. This moment was hard for Kunle to write. 4 lines on the foolscap sheet were erased and rewritten, in some places twice over. But what he